This is Doug Walker. You're watching The Crazy House, Crazy McCormick.
To do something different here. Check, check, testes, 1, 2, 3. All right, there we go. Okay, I guess it's working now. Maybe I should see if I can do something. Check. There we go. Okay. So, what up, y'all? Welcome to the Crazy House. Once again, I'm back. It's been a minute. Exactly 1 week, actually. And holy shit, there's been a lot of shit that's happened this week, hasn't there? I don't know really where to start with this. So I guess I'm just gonna have to ask, how's your day been? Wonderful, I hope. I hope you guys had an incredibly good week. I'll tell you this, like I've had an okay week in terms of like, day-to-day life and everything like that. But then there's the video game collection thing, which, as you guys know, is ever growing. Um, I've gone. probably maybe 2 or 3 times this week. I've gone out game hunting because, well, I wanted to get, uh, I wanted to start getting like a big major series of games going, and it was starting off pretty well. I was able to get almost every EA game for 2001 and 2002 for PlayStation 2. And so my catalog has actually grown quite a bit. And I went to go pick up my son today, and I was like, let's go game hunting. Let's see what we got. Let's see what we can find. We get there, everything is reorganized. Turns out that the new management came in and said, throw all of this stuff away because it's all dead media or something like that. And they let me know that. I was just like, dude, if you were just gonna throw it away, you know I collect this stuff. I come in here all the time. I'm practically a fucking mainstay when it concerns shopping in this area. And you guys know me. They know me primarily from buying that fucking little Samson game. I'm practically a fucking a local gamer celebrity at this point, I guess. But they were like, well, it's all still in the dumpster in the back, you know? So I look at my boy, what up, Swill? So I look at my boy and I was like, here we go, ready for a real adventure? He goes, all right. So we went dumpster diving for free shit. And yes, I indulged. And I told the guys once I'm done, I'm coming back into the store and I'll buy something as a thank you for giving me that hookup. And so I went in, I picked up everything that I could find. Luckily, all that was in there was just video game regalia and empty cardboard boxes. So all of those games, about 90% of those games that are sitting here chilling, which is about 69 games, and about 95% of those games are all sports games because those are usually the ones that nobody buys, and that's the big account that they'll end up having. So it's a variety of all different sports games. And then, as a thank you for the hookup, I decided to buy Xenogears for the PlayStation 1, also complete in box, and that was about 125 bucks. So I've got a variety of games from baseball to soccer, football, basketball, fucking casino game, big game hunting, from all different companies, whether it be, like Midway, 989, EA Sports, ESPN came out with a few games. So, like, I got a bunch of fucking shit. And on top of that, I also got a bunch of accessories that I could find that they didn't destroy. Luckily, the two major things that they had to destroy was they had two PS2s that they have to destroy, and an Xbox One that they also had to destroy. Um, but for the majority of the rest of the shit, it's mostly Xbox games that are all sports related. And yes, I will be playing these motherfuckers at some given point in time. But hey, some people would probably talk shit and say, oh, Crazy McCormick is a dumpster diver. Free's free, especially if you're spending hundreds and thousands of fucking like hundreds of dollars, thousands of dollars, tens of thousands of dollars into this shit, which I have. So guess who doesn't give a fuck? This guy. Because I just did a dumpster dive, and not only did I get like possibly what I would probably say to be maybe about two $200 or $300 worth of free merchandise, but I also have multiples that I can sell on eBay. and I can also cross reference other things. Like I found a bunch of authentic boxes and manuals that I can just sell on eBay and not only get the money back for Xenogears, but also make an extra boodle. Fuck it, you know? Like they're throwing this shit away. It's not bad. It's not like it's food, and looking through this stuff, I'm like, man, as a gamer, this really hurts my fucking soul seeing all of this good fucking shit go to waste. These don't belong in the garbage. They belong on a shelf. And while I do have a good variety of shelf space, I am running out of shelf space. But the funniest thing was like, at first I was expecting my son to be upset about this, but he was excited. He was like, "This has got to be the greatest adventure you and I have ever been on." And then after that, I took it home and I started separating everything. It was fun, like to the way I looked at it, it was actually very fun to fucking do that type of shit. And I don't give a fuck what anybody fucking says. It was awesome. But with that said and done and out of the fucking way, let's go on to talk about a little bit of news because a lot of stuff has happened this week. Fucking insane, if you ask me. And of course, something's gonna fucking happen uh to the webcam. The webcam's gonna fuck up in some way, shape, or form. So just give me a second. This isn't that hard to fix. There we go. So this is the first thing that we're gonna talk about because I just saw that this was posted up. So the float is going to be in 4 days. So as of this Thursday, Tom Wood's float is going down, and here's the schedule. You know what I'm saying? Like like let's start off with some of the things that they've got going on. 2 p.m. the gates open. Um, but then starting at 7 p.m., they have the homage to the River Gods party. That's going to have Tiny Tim, TJ, Dark King, Zack the Terror, Sagan the Satanist, AZ the Fallen, and Two Damn Devils. But also from 8 to 9, they are going to have Replicon Radio is going to be having their Juggalo Pictionary. Okay, that sounds fucking dope. Now, Friday and Saturday, they're going to have their floats. So 10 a.m. is going to be the time that you are going to load in. And then you've got the float going on from 11 a.m. until 4 p.m. But for the ninjas that don't want to float, they do have a Quest for Shangri-La tournament that is going to go on from 11 a.m. to 3 p.m. I'm assuming that's how it's fucking showing. Um, I gotta say that the fucking Tom Wood Hatchet Man does kind of it does kind of make it a little bit difficult to tell like how far down the line the event actually takes, but still nevertheless. So yeah, 6 p.m. is when I'm assuming that it starts at 11 a.m. It ends at 5 p.m. and then you've got an hour to dry off and get fixed up and do all the things before the shows actually start. And the show starts from the first concert starts. Yep, actually no, that's not even a concert. Dave and Kim's wedding starting at 6 p.m. And then at 7 p.m. is when we've got the music coming in. So let's see. It looks like a couple of I can barely even fucking see this, and I've got this maxed out on the shit. So god damn it. You know what? I'm just probably gonna have to read this off of fucking Figure Lovers just to because that's where I got it from. I'm just gonna have to read it off of Figure Lovers and zoom in, take a look at what this is. So yeah, 6 p.m. on Friday the 20th is Dave and Kim's wedding. Then at 7 p.m. you're gonna have Too Sweet. Then for I'm assuming that's like a 20-minute set. Morgue Mob for a 20-minute set. Matt Boy goes in between 7. 7:45 and 8 p.m. Bloody Ruckus is going to be like right after 8 p.m., probably like quarter after 8. Looks like around 8:40, 8:45, that's when we're going to be having Mighty Morphin Whackness, which, if you guys don't know, that is the bastard love child of the super famous Funtime guys and Clockwork E, which is awesome. Like I feel like I could actually get along with super famous. Those guys seem like a good time. And as far as I'm concerned, I'm down as fuck for Clockwork E. Like those guys are fucking dope. Billy D is the homie as far as I'm concerned. Let's see. So that goes on until 9:30, and then after that you've got Matapelli. Big Hoodoo is going to be making an appearance. After that, 11:30 is going to be Juggalo Smarts and Pepper Farts, and that goes on for looks like an hour. And then after that is going to be the LSP Mega Medley, consisting of Scum, Insane Poetry, Smalls One, Class, Michael Lawless, and Bloody Ruckus. So Bloody Ruckus will be doing two performances in the fucking evening. Saturday, once again, they got the float going on from 11 to 5, I guess. And then for the people who aren't floating, you've got field games going on from 11:45 to 4:45 p.m. And you also have another thing called Show Me What You Got going on from 1 p.m. to 4 p.m. Starting around like 6:20, you've got some of the other some of the motherfuckers coming in. You've got Mr. Green, Big Sherm, the Ice Giant, SON, Scene Loke, going on between 6:20 and 8:45, I'm assuming. Let's see. Following that up is Class, Motown Rage, Al Azul Elu. Then you've got the Float Queen Pageant. I'm assuming that is supposed to be kind of like the Miss Juggalette pageant type of thing. I'm assuming, but for Tom Wood doing his damn thing. Risk Framtiden. I don't know how to pronounce that. But then you also have the HMR party with DJ Cryptic and Carnival War Drums. And that's going to be going on into the witching hour from 1:30 to about 3:30 in the morning. Uh, I don't know how Tom Wood is able to fucking do this. I'm assuming that this is on his own land, so it's all in the good either way. Now, Sunday, this I find interesting because, like, most events usually end around Sunday, and then you have until noon to clean up and get the fuck out. That's usually what juggalos are used to, is pack your shit and get out of here by noon. But it looks like that Sunday is still packed full of goods. So from 10:30 in the morning until about 12 p.m. 12:30 p.m. you have the canoe and the raft races, which is going to consist of a two-person canoe and four-person rafts. I'm assuming that it's not all together; it's probably one after the other. For the ninjas that aren't doing that, starting at 11:30, you're going to have Echo Side tournaments for 3 hours, from 11:30 till about 2:30. But also in between, in the middle of that is also going to be Replicon Radio doing a kickball thing, and that goes on from 12:30 until about 3 p.m. And then after that, you got Natural State Wrestling going on from 3 to 5, or 3 and ending at 6. But then you also have a potluck dinner going on from 5:30 to 6:30, right before the music starts to go. And some of these names I'm actually cool with. So, yeah, right after the potluck dinner, I'm assuming cleanup, and then around quarter to 7, you got Mike Beastie, Scooby Dundee. Let's see, Lots and Exis, Exevis. What the fuck? How? Okay, let's see. Fucking 8:30 is FOTY. I don't know if that stands for something or what the fuck. 9 p.m. you got Chuckles. Then right around 9:30, you got Wicked Wood, followed by Willie Hayes, followed by Tier Diaz, and then from 11:30 to about 12:30, Light is headlining the event. So it looks like even for the float, like the float actually has like a bunch of cool, dope fucking events, which I'm kind of thinking to myself eventually I'm gonna have to fucking go to a goddamn float. You know what I'm saying? That's hard. What up, Complex? Like at some point I'm gonna have to go to a float. Now I don't know if I talked about this on last week's episode or I know that I've talked about it off camera, but I have made the announcement to quite a few people, and I don't remember if I said it last week. But I plan to quit my fucking job that I currently work at as of right now. Yeah, like as of right now, I am in the works of getting ready to fucking quit my job. And I've made the decision that I'm going to fully fucking quit the job that I'm working at before the beginning of this upcoming school year. So by the end of the summer, I am planning on working full time uh, for myself. I'm going to be doing deliveries again. I'm going to be playing video games more often. I'm going to be doing all the fucking things. This way I can actually get my, that way I actually have my freedom back. And I think I'm a little bit older and a little bit wiser about how to fucking do the shit because before then, like I wasn't very smart with it. And the only reason why I bring this up though is because I miss out on a lot of this shit because when you work a job, you don't really get a whole lot of fucking time off. You know what I'm saying? Like, and I'm sick of it. Like, I'm sick of not being able to make my own schedule, take time off when I want to. Um, and have to adhere to whether or not I can be approved based off of whether or not other people have taken fucking time off from that shit. Fuck that. I'd rather just work on my own, you know? Not to mention, there's a whole bunch of other bullshit that goes on with the job that I'm currently working at. But it's basically at this point, no further from now, like, no further from the end of the summer is when I'm going to quit. So anytime between now and the end of the summer, I want to I want to try to do until the end of the summer so that way I can get my vacation time for the Gathering of the Juggalos, which I'm going to definitely fucking do. I would also like to check out Camp Zool. I would also like to check out the float. The only time off that I actually take is for the Gathering of the Juggalos, but if I work for myself, then I can do all of those things while being able to work the schedule that I want to work, be able to make the money that I want to make, and do all of the things. You see what I'm saying? Like that's kind of where I'm sitting at right now, and hopefully I'll be able to like and I'm very confident that I'll be able to do all the things and be able to fucking work and do all the stuff that I want to fucking do. But one of the thing, so yeah, maybe next year I'll definitely be floating. And I want to continue, and also the same thing too is like as long as there is a DCG con, I will continue to go to DCG con. Hollow Wicked, I will continue to go to Hollow Wicked. Um, Big Ballers depends on where it's at, you know, all the things. But let's get into the next fucking topic of conversation, which is basically the Gathering of the Juggalos. Because the Gathering of the Juggalos has finally started to make their announcements about certain certain fucking things that are going to be going on. So let's take a look at the Gathering of the Juggalos. We're going to go right into the website. That's why I got this up. And so, yep, they're right off the rip. You've got ass, chicks faking lesbian for clout, all the things. So let's fucking bounce into the legendary stage here because this is the first and foremost. They don't have very many fucking people here up on the legendary stage, but you do have, for first and foremost, I saw recent, for the longest time it was just ICP and Ouija. Those were already givens that were going to be at the Gathering of the Juggalos performing on the legendary stage. But they had just recently announced Tech Nine, which the homie Mitch, uh, the homie Mitch ended up fucking saying, I said that Tech Nine was gonna fucking be okay, cool, bro. Yeah, I said that Tech Nine was going to be coming up, and nobody believed me. And dude, I mean, it makes sense. It's the gathering of fucking legends. It makes sense for Tech and Nina to show up because Tech Nine is one of those mainstays. He's been performing at the gathering of the Juggalos on and off since about what 2000 fucking uh yeah 2005 was the first time I ever saw Tech, and that was actually pretty dope. RA the Rugged Man has also been signed to perform at the Gathering of the Juggalos. I don't know why, because I don't think RA the Rugged Man has ever fucking performed at the Gathering of the Juggalos before. I'm not 100% sure. And if you don't think I'm being fucking if you think I'm being serious, then you're fucking whack because come on, man. Like if you think if you were to think that Ari the me never hearing of Ari the Rugged Man never performing at the Gathering of the Juggler, if you think I'm serious about that, you're fucking whack. But it's been I've always felt like that was a funny ongoing joke. Now, obviously, you've got Ouija Mac, and then you've got Insane Clown Posse doing their set, but it looks like that ICP is going to be doing a Shangri-La throwback show. So this is probably going to be the exact same set list. I mean, it doesn't even say anything on here. Like if you go to view the artist. Oh, look, an RSS. Behold, Juggalos, as we reach back into the annals, the If we, as we reach back into the annals of time and pull from out of the past one of the most mythic Insane Clown Posse performances in all of Hatchet history. In 2002, the original Six Jokers card, The Wraith Shangri-La, was released, forever changing the landscape of Juggalo kind, and they're not sorry if they tricked you, by the way. In the months that followed, the Wicked Clowns embarked on a devastating nationwide tour to deliver the unprecedented flavor of that era directly to the painted faces of juggalos everywhere. It was captured in the closing chapters of Behind the Paint. It was officially bootlegged in LA, which I have a DVD copy of. It was a time of untold levels of positivity and freshness that is still talked about to this day, which is true. I mean, like these guys were beaming and 17ing before we were beaming and 17ing in 17. Like you had to be there to be able to experience the love and the positivity that the gathering of the that not just the gathering of the juggalos, but the Shangri-La era was one of the most positive fucking eras, lasting 2 fucking years before the darkness settled in and we had to listen to Hell's Pit, which by the way, Hell's Pit still is fire, and anybody who disagrees with me is a fucking juff. That's directed towards one specific person. Anyways, so let's continue on this. Now, Violent J and Shaggy Two Dope are bringing the race blessing of Diamond Rain to fall upon your nugget once again in this loving recreation of that very tour show. Whether you're reliving your fondest Fago Soak memories or you weren't even old enough for your mama to drop you off at the venue, now is your sacred second chance to watch this throwback like a time traveling carny cornerback at the Gathering of Legends. Which, yes, this no, he does not have green hair. Um, it's actually he's a beefy guy, kind of likes fucking murder kitties. He is a beefy murder kitty. But I say that out of absolute love. I'm just putting that out there. What about Riddlebox Chronic? Like the Shangri, like the Riddlebox era. I don't know anything about because I really started focusing a lot in on Insane Clown Posse when Malenko came out. So I was there during I remember small things about the Malenko era. Um wasn't really in really wasn't like in the Juggalo scene per se until probably around Jekyll Brothers. So like 99 was when I started really dipping my toes in the water, so to speak. Um, and getting to know people online and shit like that. And then of course, by 2008, I was actually starting to get a name for my own in this motherfucking bitch. But yeah, but like but during the Shangri-La era, I remember so fucking well the positivity and the love and all of the shit that was going on in 2002 when ICP went into hiding and like during the time that ICP was into hiding, I remember that shit. There was a lot of negativity on the internet because there was a lot of people who were like, okay, ICP isn't watching us on the internet, so we're going to shit talk as much as we can. And it was really hurtful to see that kind of stuff. And then there was like this one guy I was talking to who was pretending to be Violent J, but I was like, there was too many fucking inconsistencies that made no sense at the time. But when they came back and it was at the gathering of the Juggalos in Peoria, Illinois, holy shit, the fucking karma was so on point. The worst of it though was that point in time where the cops tear gassed that chick for showing her fucking tits. And I was just like, I didn't see anybody throwing tear gas at the two chicks that were fucking while we were waiting for the doors to open. Like there was literally two chicks fucking in the middle of the fucking line to get in to the Peoria Civic Center when we were waiting for the doors to open. Because this was like before camping and all of that other stuff. But outside of that, I like even Jay even fucking took that in stride with the chick who got tear gassed and stuff. He was just like, so apparently some faggot ass cops decided to get pissy because a chick decided to show her titties. So I'm just gonna tell you, if you want to show your titties, make sure that the cops aren't around you at the time that they fucking do that. Otherwise, you're gonna get tear gassed. And everybody fucking loved it. Like like there was so much fucking love, like during that 2 years of being a juggalo, and it was kind of revisited when we were Demon in 17, when we decided to march it on Washington. There was love then too, and it's strange that I fucking bring that up, but just put that in your back fucking pocket for a second. You know that's gonna come back. So yeah, we've got these 5 performances guaranteed that are going to be on the main stage or the legendary stage. Now I'm pretty sure that there's going to be some other people. Like I'm pretty sure that we're going to experience Darby O'Trill. You know, I am very sure that we are going to see Darby O'Trill get announced for the legendary stage at the Gathering of the Juggalos. But let's take a look at the iconic stage now. Yeah. So it says that we got night performers coming soon, but we still have some daytime performers. Now, here's the thing though, like I was actually talking to like as you guys can see in the chat, my boy Chronic is lurking. Before I get into this, we'll start going down the list of people who are going to be on the second stage. But I was talking to my boy Chronic, and I was like, this is a major opportunity for Insane Clown Posse. I don't know if they've already wrapped up booking, but if they fucking missed out on this opportunity, they are fucking dumb. And what I mean by this is the fact that for 6 gatherings, there has been one man that they need to book for the Gathering of Legends. And that man is currently the number one country artist in the world, Jelly Roll. Jelly Roll has performed at the Gathering of the Juggalos 6 times. He got his introduction when he got his first taste of gathering life with the ninja known as Haystack in 2012. That was his first performance. That was also my third gathering. So I was there. I probably don't remember him performing because I might have passed out fucking a chick in my tent, but I was there and he performed. And he also had performed in 2013, 2014, 2016, 2017, and 2018. And if I remember correctly, in 2019 at Super Gathering, he asked ICP to let him perform again, and they said that they don't want to have him perform for more than 3 times in a row. They want to put some other people in rotation, or it had something to do with the theme that they were going for, and he just didn't fit the theme or something like that. He begged and pleaded to be on the list, and they told him no. You don't have to put me on main stage. No. I'll do it for free. No. And he has not performed for a gathering since then. But also at the same time, since then, Jelly Roll has become the number one fucking country recording artist in modern time. He is currently the most known and most popular fucking country singer. But he also still has that hip hop flavor. Keeping in mind, he has that history with Haystack. He has performed and toured with Insane Clown Posse. I think it was in 2015. He toured with them. I believe it was that. And a lot of people didn't notice him then. Like he was touring. Yeah, I think it was that year. I think that was the year that they were touring with Insane Clown Posse, that he was touring with Insane Clown Posse, I should say. And it has been since what? 2018 was the last time that he performed at the Gathering of the Juggalos. And somebody I saw an interview where they asked him about his past with Insane Clown Posse, and he's like, I'm still down with them. And they asked, would you be willing to perform at the Gathering of the Juggalos? He's like, if they asked me, I would totally perform at the Gathering. I would gather in a heartbeat. All they have to do is ask. 6 times this motherfucker has performed at the Gathering of the Juggalos. Is that not legendary status? Isham, yes, definitely. R.A. the Rugged Man, totally makes sense. Tech 9, totally makes sense. Ouija Mac, well, he's signed to Psychopathic, Chapter 17. That makes sense. Insane Clown Posse, I don't know why that makes sense, but it does. Jelly Roll, if he's not on the fucking bill, then Jumpsteady's not doing his job booking legends. This is Juggalo gathering legends. You know what I'm saying? Oh, I'm definitely going. Now, with this in mind, let's keep, so like now that I've got that out of the way, I just had to get that off of my chest. But I personally think Jelly Roll deserves to gather at the Gathering of fucking Legends. Yep. Okay. Originally, thank you for pointing that out. Yeah, if he's not booked, there's a possibility that it could there's a possibility of it happening. All right, so let's take a look at the iconic stage. Now, this is probably going to be a list of a lot of people that I don't fucking know. Please let me know if you know who this is. Bone Thugs, I think his price, they can't match it. Remember what I said. If they said no in the past and he begged them to fucking do it, and he said that he'd even do it for free. He will do it as long as they ask. So if they think that he's not affordable, let's keep in mind that they were able to get Chris Hansen to be at the Gathering of the Juggalos. They were able to get Ric Flair to be at the Gathering of the Juggalos. They were able to get Charlie fucking Sheen. Like, I remember that conversation when it concerned Charlie Sheen because they. Okay, I don't know what the hell that was. For some reason, my fucking headset died. My headset just turned off. I don't know what that was all about. Anyways, like, let's keep in mind, yeah, Waka Flocka would be another good one. Vanilla Ice is definitely a Juggalo legend for sure. But let's also keep in mind, like, okay, when they booked Charlie Sheen during his winning era, when all of that stuff was going on with him getting fired from Two and a Half Men, and he was like, I'm winning and all this other shit. And and so like he heard about how if there was anybody that they wanted to book at that year's gathering of the Juggalos, it would be Charlie Sheen because of all of the hype that he had going on. So Charlie Sheen actually looked into Juggaloism and the gathering of the Juggalos. He did his homework and then he called Psychopathic and said, I'd be down for it. And fucking let's see, what I could care less about Stitches myself personally. Like I'm not a fan of his music. But anyways, they said we would love to book you. That we did say that we'd love to book you, but we can't book you because you're Charlie Sheen. And Charlie Sheen actually said, "No, you can book me because I am Charlie Sheen." So it was either that they were going to be able to book him and that he was willing to drop his price to be booked for the Gathering of the Juggalos, or he was very fucking sure of himself being able to be that much of a draw that they would still be able to go in the go into black ink by booking Charlie Sheen would bring in enough people to the Gathering of the Juggalos to make it worth them booking Charlie Sheen. So one of those two things is correct because he eventually did get booked for the Gathering of the Juggalos. I remember him being on the forefront of the fucking photo, you know? I like the set he turned up. I don't care for him myself. But still, nevertheless, like, so if they think that they can't book Jelly Roll because it's Jelly Roll, no, they can book Jelly Roll because he's Jelly Roll. You understand? We already get enough normies that come to the fucking gathering anyways just to be here for like a couple of people that they've already booked in the past. And they eventually do become juggalos. I mean, and I'm not expecting it to happen for Jelly Roll to get booked and then he closes out his set with I am not okay. I'm hanging off the rails. Like I'm not expecting him to fucking do a country set. Most likely he would end up fucking doing his old school hip hop set. And by the way, I do enjoy that song, I'm Not Okay. But okay, so Jelly would, I think Jelly would be a mystery guest. No, you know what would be super fucking fun? I don't know if is Haystack still around? Like that's something I don't know. I'm gonna have to look that up. Like, is Haystack still around? Is he still doing his fucking thing? Oh, never mind. Yeah, yeah, I'd say never mind. Yeah, we're not fucking. I was going to say what might be a good idea is to get Haystack going. If Jelly fucking did, if Jelly's gonna be there, bring Haystack back. Haystack just shouted the clowns out on socials a couple of weeks ago. Yeah, when I did a Google search for Haystack, um, yeah, when I did a Google search for Haystack, it showed something on his Instagram. However, I just saw this on his Wikipedia. In 2004, Haystack was charged with statutory rape. In 2006, Haystack was charged and convicted of sexual assault. He was sentenced to 11 months and 29 days of supervised probation. In May 2014, he was arrested on domestic violence charges. In December 2024, he was arrested for intent to commit sexual abuse during a concert in Iowa. So, once again, never mind. I think maybe we can just keep Jelly Roll. Oh, that's cute that you think that. Anyways, so yeah, we'll take Jelly. Never mind on Haystack. The fuck? Anyways, yeah, so let's go ahead with the iconic stage. They have not yet done any nighttime performers, but here are the daytime performers that they have going up on there. Let's see. So tell me if you know who any of these people are, because there's a small handful of people that I actually see on this. Okay, Actus Reus. Sounds like there's going to be clowns posted up outside the tattoo shop Haystack's been hanging out at for years. Possibly. Hold on a second. Wow, that's fucking. Okay, so sorry about that. But there was a little bit of rumbling in the house. I needed to take care of that real quick. But yeah, so I don't know who this is. I don't know the name. It has no description or nothing. Let's see, Al Mal, aka A. Dot Wake. Okay, I don't know who this is. I thought this was the Gathering of Legends, but then again, I think second stage is usually up for usually people that ICP has noticed or something that like isn't second stage usually for like up and comers or people who have gotten their names out there that ICP sees like a future with, you know? I think that sounds about right. So it's like you see these people on second stage, it's like who the fuck are these people? So far, I'm 0 for 2. Bodies below sea level. I like the look. Not gonna lie. I like the look, but I don't know who they are. Okay, next one. Bond Breaker. No idea. But I like the look. The fucking package photo looks pretty dope. So I could possibly fuck with that. Donnie Menace. I have heard the name and he looks familiar, but I don't think he's in my fucking rotation. So I have no idea. Okay, there's FOTY Oz. I think that's the same person who I saw on the list for the float. So, okay, there's a name to go with the face. Yeah, there's a face to go with the name. Gloom. Gloom. I have no idea. Once again, Hatchet Mountain Rising. Fresh from the Tom Woods. Oh, they've actually got a fucking thing. Fresh from Tom Woods, The Float. Witness as Hatchet Mountain Records' entire roster shakes the ground for this one of a kind show at the Gathering of Legends. Risk from Teden returns to the Gathering of the Juggalos, bringing a landslide of devastation. Joining in the avalanche, HMR's own Big Relic, Lots and Excessive, T-Ranch, and Dark King, with Drew Rollman on drums and DJ Cryptic scratching the ones and twos. We cannot lower the mountains, so we must elevate ourselves. I like that quote. So yeah, this is that HMR that was also at the float. And it says down here, Gathering of the Juggalos 2025 exclusive. That's pretty dope. Let's see, K7 Army. Once again, no package of any sorts. Now this is where it starts to get slowly but surely, I'm starting to recognize people. Mad Max being one of them. And I think I've talked about Mad Max in the past. Like, I know of Mad Max due to some history with some old rivalries going on between uh, CPN and Chuck Reeves. At the time, Mad Max was backing Chuck in a way. I don't know if it was because of the anti CPN fucking hate train at the time or if it was because they're both from Massachusetts. I'm not sure 100% what the deal was, but since then, I believe Mad Max has kind of distanced himself from Chuck, like everybody else on the planet has in the past. And, well, anybody with a right brain would actually do that. But Mad Max has been putting his name out there, and I think I've covered some Mad Max shit in the like on this show earlier in the year. Mad Max is fucking dope. He definitely is one of those guys that I can respect because he has a mind of his own. He definitely thinks for himself, and I can respect that. This next photo. So I like, hopefully, I'm hoping that any performances that I want to see with this current list does not inflict on whether or not I'd be able to watch Mad Max. And the reason being is because, yes, there are some other fucking people that I am going to want to watch. And so, like I said, I hope that there's no overlapping because I would like to see Mad Max perform. All right, next one is Mantra of Morta. And I don't know who this is, but I like the chick's fucking chainmail. I will say that. So it makes me kind of wonder what kind of sound that's going to be. Next one, Moppy. Moppy. I don't know who that is. Who the hell is Moppy? Okay, Red Burn. What is this fucking package photo for Red Burn? It's like, okay, we're in a small room with a bunch of flyers. Like we're doing this the typical rock pose. Resistor. Another is this another metal band? Saving Vice. Who are these people? Oh my god. Set for the Fall. Okay, this one's a darkened fucking set and whatnot, but thank God breaking the monotony on this one. Sewer Side. Sewer Side is dope. Uh, I like Sewer Side. Like nerdcore kind of fucking rap is actually fun for me to listen to. Siamese Goat God. So this is a group that I have been hearing the name of here and there. So I'm curious to see what that's going to look like. I feel like that there is a lot of stuff that I'm missing. Maybe next week, what I'll do is I will actually start to watch. Like I think next week's episode, I will go through every fucking music video that everybody has up on here, and we'll just go down the list as much as we can, so we can get a taste of what everybody's got going on. I just don't want to do that right now because I've already got stuff prepped for the show. All right, so there's Siamese Goat God, and yeah, like this is a name that I've been hearing here and there, so I'm curious about it just because of the name alone, Siamese Goat God. Like the name alone just sounds fucking dope to me. It rolls off the tongue. It gives the brain a little bit of dopamine. All right, so here's the next one, which is sinister. So I guess that answers the question that I had last week when I was asking the question: is it a completely different sinister, or is it the V sinister that we know and we just drop the V and what have you? And it turns out this is the answer to my fucking question. Sinister is a white dude who's got a fucking his neck looks pretty thick. I bet like his neck looks like it's corpse grinder Fisher kind of thickness to that. Schizo is another one that's been a name that has popped up in the Juggalo world. Schizo has performed multiple times at the Gathering, and so is Suicide. And I feel like that those two are names that definitely deserve to be on the Gathering of Legends, both Schizo and Suicide. Okay, then we got Smile on the Sinner, whoever the fuck. All right, next, Squid Pisser. And this person's got back shots written on their fucking chest. That's ironic. Yeah, that's strange in a way. But once again, funny name, but like what do they do? Funny name, interesting looking gimmick. Looks like an alien Marilyn Manson. Vlad's Skeletal Circus. See, like something like this deserves a fucking explanation of what is this? This says nothing to me. Like, is it going to be like the same thing as like the fucking dangerous stunt show or whatever what is this? Thank God for something else popping up that I know. Wicked Wood and Wicked Wood, both of them guys are the homies. Zach and Gravy, Wicked Wood are the homies. I'm also friends with Hulk Hogan now. I don't know who the fucking Yeti is, but and on top of that, like I'm not 100%. Is it going to be with or without fucking Hulk Hogan? That's another thing that I'm curious about. Wild Bill, I don't recognize the name. I don't recognize the face. This guy, his forehead's a little bit spotty, so I don't know who that is. And then last but not least, Worldwide Panic, which this picture just fucking screams German fucking like this definitely fucking screams like fucking German disco metal. Does it not? Like this seems like it feels like three-man Rammstein. Just because of the picture in and of itself, this promotional package picture literally fucking screams to me German disco metal. Whatever the fuck that is. Or Rammstein or some kind of fuck like it has like a three-man Rammstein kind of feel. All right, let's take a look at the detonation stage. So this is going to have like all of the up and comers within the Juggalo community, from what I've seen, and there's a lot of names in here, people that I know, people that I've heard of, like, or and when I say that, I mean just names that I have found alone. But anyways, we starting off first and foremost, we have 216 Zay, who I remember the first fucking music video that he fucking came out with. They actually sound like Breaking Benjamin. Wow. Okay, I'm gonna have to check that out. I mean, I am a fan of Breaking Benjamin, but you know, I don't expect that with that fucking group. But anyways, yeah. So 216 Zay is gonna be performing on the third stage, on the detonation stage. I like I said, I remember the first video that he had. Like he was front running the fuck out of the Juggernaut because the Juggernaut had just started, and he went out and he got himself a fucking hoodie for the Juggernaut, and the Juggernaut didn't even have fucking merch. And I thought that was dope as shit. And ever since then, I've peered through the fucking doorway every once in a while and seen where he has gone from that start and climbed his way up. And now he's like doing the third stage. Because I remember last year he ended up doing like three or four fucking Renegade acts. Okay, the next one, Abe LinkedIn. So I've heard the name, haven't heard the music. And this is definitely one of those things where I'm like, okay, look, I'm fans of some of these people, not even by their music, but just because of the fact that I've known them over the years, by their names coming out and certain fucking people and shit like that. Like, like when the Juggernaut was huge, we had 216A, Shade, and a couple of other fucking people that, were just coming into the shit um, and for what a wild ride that was, you know. Obviously, with the Juggernaut is no more. Like no one really fucking does anything Juggernaut, like in the name of Juggernaut or anything like that. But for the time that it was there, it was cool to see the type of people that we had that camaraderie with. And that's kind of like where some people ended up getting their start in shit and just never looked back. It's, if anything, it's a good memory and it's a good starting point as far as I'm concerned. Now, like with Abe LinkedIn, I've heard the name, haven't heard the music. I don't know what it is about myself, but I just don't really do a lot of things when it concerns juggalo rappers, even if they're rappers who just happen to be fucking juggalos. Like you kind of got to earn, you kind of in a way, it's like, yeah, I'm homies with some of these people, but I'm not going to listen to their music just because I'm homies with them because I don't like the idea of being their homie and listening to their music because I don't want them to think that that's the only reason why I'm homies with them, you know? Like to me, that was like one thing that I've always worried about was having friends that were in the music business that could possibly have the thought that the only reason why I'm friends with them is because they're musicians, which is why I'm like, okay, Acetone. I know that he does music and I know that he's been doing his thing. I know Acetone by name and by reputation, by fuck Acetone. And I also know Acetone in the sense of doing stuff on Twitch with video games and live streams and shit like that. I don't know Acetone by the sense of his fucking music. However, it is dope as shit that him, just like 216A and a lot of these other people that I'm about to make mention of, are doing the damn thing on their performance. And it really shows that whatever it is that they're doing, they're on the come up. They're actually fucking growing in this shit. And I think that that's dope as fuck. Okay, the next one, Ansi and Damone. I don't know who these people are, don't know anything about them, don't know a goddamn thing. But you can tell that they are, in fact, fucking juggalos. It definitely starting to feel like, okay, like we need to make this third stage the renegade stage before the renegade stage becomes the renegade stage. Big Brutal. Once again, another name I have no idea. I do kind of sort of like the paint though. Um, if he wasn't using if he wasn't using water based, then I think it would be fine because you can even see right here like the paint is kind of streaking. But then again, this might be in the middle of the set. I mean, obviously, you take a look at him, he's fucking performing. All right, Black Magic the Infidel. I like the promotional package. That's actually pretty fucking dope. Bloodshot Mafia. I like this. I like this. This has definitely got that album cover feel to it. Who the hell is this? Blunt Field. I'm assuming that he raps a lot about smoking pot. Just a playful thought. Smoking pot and killing people. Okay, BPTF. No idea. All right, Brotherhood X. This picture looks kind of sort of like a fucking karaoke jammy jam, but I don't know. Maybe like I said, like there's a lot of people on this fucking list that I don't know, and the ones that I do, I don't necessarily listen to their music on a personal level for reasons, you know. Celtics. Okay, the name is interesting. Um, Being Irish, I kind of am like, all right, bet. All right, so this one, double homicide. These guys are the homies. Um, they are local from here in Grand Rapids, Michigan. Double homicide is part of Morlock Records. So I definitely have checked out their shit. I've watched them perform. Like I've watched people from Morlock Records fucking doing their performance. Um, Scuzzy and his wife Lady, I've seen them perform as as their group. So basically, like Morlock Records has like their solo works, and then they have different collaborative groups that they've done together, and then they have like the big super group kind of thing. So Morlock Records has kind of like done what Psychopathic has done in the past, where it's like, okay, you know how Psychopathic and Insane Clown Posse and Twisted and Blaze and ABK, but all together they had fucking Dark Lotus, and then Magic Ninja ended up doing the same thing where you had Twisted and then Triple Threat with Twisted and Blaze, and then you had the East Side Riders with Twisted, Blaze, and ABK, that kind of thing. So they did like Morlock did that shit before Magic Ninja did it. So Magic Ninja are kind of biters, if you ask me. Dread, like that's it. That's the name. Dread. No idea, but the makeup and everything, it looks pretty fucking dope. Evil Steven, no clue, no clue at all. Falling Under. So now we have like what looks to be like possibly. I mean, this definitely has that rock pose, so that's definitely a rock. That definitely gives like that metal fucking rock band feel to it. Freaky to Pimp, no idea. Um, I'm assuming he's from California. Just based off of everything that this picture says to me, it feels like LA. Yeah, Zay is still around. Zay's been doing his thing, man. Like he keeps grinding. Fury. And see, like this is the one thing that really sucks the hardest too, is like these are the ninjas that definitely need their descriptions. You know what I'm saying? And nobody has any fucking descriptions on here. Gavin Gunn. This promo picture literally says nothing to me. And without, okay, so like the only thing that you're getting is like a YouTube link and links to his fucking socials. You're not getting a description or anything like that. Like to me, like without some of these ninjas having the descriptions, these pictures and these invites for the most part mean nothing to me. What up, Zay? It's like the only people that I know for a fact. You know what I'm saying? Like the only problem that I have with this is like, okay, like obviously I'm gonna be like, yeah, I know about Zay, I know about Acetone, I know about let's see who else, Double Homicide. I can tell you about these artists without having a description. Unfortunately, though, without a description for other people, I'm like, I don't have a fucking clue. What else is there? I don't know. Zay, when you submitted anything, did they ask you for a like a brief description of what to put on for the thing or anything like that? Which, by the way, congratulations on getting accepted, brother. Like I really think that's dope as shit. Like you amongst the other ninjas that I'm about to fucking slob over their knobs. I'm definitely fucking saying that shit. But like to me, it's just like I feel like that. Like if Psychopathic isn't doing their homework and doing a description of what some of these motherfuckers are about, Okay. Second time that my fucking headphones fucking died out on me. I don't know what that's all about. But anyways, yeah, you would fucking think that if Psychopathic isn't doing their homework and putting out these descriptions, then they would at least have you fucking put out a description of what to put on the website so that way it'd be like, okay, what's going to draw people to want to come to see you? Because, like this whole fucking laundry list of people you can tell are definitely fucking juggalos, whether it be like this one, get money, okay? Hey, take a look at this dude on the fucking left on the left side. Hold on a second. We're gonna go to view artist. What is this? His socks are fucking drooping. Now I'm not a connoisseur of sock check because I wear just the ankle boys. But if you're gonna fucking go that high, you best hike them motherfuckers up. I know the rules. This is one of the reasons why I stopped wearing tube socks, especially the ones that go over your fucking kneecap because you have short, stubby legs or some shit like that. That man's calves are too fucking weak, like looking too fucking weak to be holding up those socks properly. I see the wrinkles, fam. I can see the wrinkles in the back leg too, right? Yeah, I can see it. You see it? It's right there. Anyways, let's go on. Get money. Get better socks, okay? Get the money to get better socks. GG Esco. Once again, no idea. Promo package. Once again, no fucking description. What is like? Look at this. This lack of space right here. I don't know what to say about this. Okay, gingerbread. Once again, no fucking description. Some there might be some people that don't just nonstop look at juggalo artists. It's like the people that I don't know, I have interest in wanting to know about what their music is. What am I gonna do? Just stay at the third stage all fucking day every day and not do anything else? Can't even leave to eat. Hell's bells. Okay. So this one looks a little bit better just due to the fact that okay, they have like a sort of a gimmicky thing and they're selling that gimmick. Even the background picture is fucking like selling something. Selling fucking something. I heard that Lars are performing. I mean that may or may not be true, Dragon Slayer. However, like the thing with that is it's not on here, so and I haven't seen anything about it on social media, so I have no guarantee as to whether or not that's fucking happening. Let's see, Jason Mask, the booth. Okay, so what I'm seeing out of that guy is it's a dude who has a fucking obsession with Friday the 13th. He's got the machete, he's got the mask, he's got a picture on his t-shirt of a hockey mask and two machetes going behind the mask. Jay Dirty, I feel like I've heard this name before, but I don't fully know. And he has a mini cassette in his fucking mouth. No one knows what that is anymore, fam. This isn't this isn't fucking 1997. Nobody's using mini tape recorders anymore. And then he's got a shit ton of CDs and you can. Yeah, I think I see somewhere in here you can see a physical copy of Fuck the Fuck Off or something like that. Not even a good Jason mask. Speaking of a guy with another mask, we have Keegan Grimm. Okay, so is that supposed to be like a hockey mask, skin mask kind of thing right there? I'm not sure. I'm not sure what the fuck to expect just by basing it on the picture alone and no fucking description or anything like that. This is why I said next week we're gonna go back to this website and we're gonna fucking go down the line and watch everybody's fucking YouTube videos and see what they bring to the fucking table. Knowledge the MC. This is actually a homie of Ecocide Fiend. That's how I know about Knowledge the MC. I remember, like, I don't remember the performance, but I do remember trying to have a conversation with him uh, at, I think it was at Unity Fest, and it was supposed to be Unity Fest, and so like me and him and Ecocide Fiend are all having a conversation, and then all of a sudden I felt this soft hand touch my shoulder, and I turned around and I looked, and it was Mr. Fuck Yo Phone himself asking me politely to move out of the way because they had to put up a curtain so that way the main event act could bust through the curtain. So yeah. And by the way, it was right after CPN and Dustin uh had that altercation in the parking lot. This was a few months after. He really does have pillow hands because like my hands are rather bony and I have a harder grip on myself than what he did when he put his hand on my fucking shoulder. Like I could feel four thick fucking sausages just gently placed on my shoulder, and I turned around and it was Dustin. But nevertheless, I saw like I was like I don't even remember like because of how long ago it was. Like I don't know if I was doing something else, but I don't remember seeing a performance from Knowledge the MC. But he gets a cosign and a stamp of approval from Ecocide Fiend, so I'll give him another shot. Let's see, Coat Records, King of All Trades is what it stands for. Coat Records. So I'm assuming that it's like you can tell that this was Chat GPT'd. This picture was definitely Chat GPT'd. No idea who they are, no idea whatsoever. Do I need to fucking figure like they expect me to do to do all the math. Now, granted, I don't fully fucking care 100% about who's performing at the gathering. Like, it's all just the background music for hanging out with the homies. But if you're going to post this on the website, I'm going to give you some criticism where criticism is due. And the criticism that's due is put up a goddamn artist description. Next one, Lie in Wait. Okay, I'm assuming it's a metal band. I'm assuming. Let's see. This I thought was interesting. I have heard the name McNasty for 20 fucking years. McNasty has been a name that I have been privy of since the first version of FagoLovers.net. Back when they used to fucking they used to fucking what's the word that I'm looking for? They used to jock the fuck out of people like McNasty and Intrinsic with his Fall Guy band and shit. So like I've seen McNasty's name on and off for a number of years. And I know that McNasty is a part of the fucking Juggalo scene and everything. Like McNasty is definitely one of those earlier Juggalo artist cats that hopped into the horrorcore scene once upon a time. But I haven't seen or heard of McNasty in such a goddamn long fucking time. Nada. Who? Now, I do have to admit, I saw like Nada had this fucking feature, she had this track featuring Zetro. So I'm like, okay, we all know who Zetro is. So if Zetro's giving this woman a cosign, okay, maybe we'll give it a shot. She also has her available socials on Facebook, Instagram, Spotify, TikTok, and YouTube. But like I said, we're going to go back next week and we're going to watch everybody's fucking performances. All right, next. Nino Light and Jay Payne, Carnival to Kingdom. So I think that isn't Carnival to Kingdom the fucking group that's headlining one of the nights at the float alongside that that whatever the fuck. You know what I'm saying? Hold on. Before we get into the next guy, I was like, okay, why is this dude painting his face completely fucking red? Zach, the other crazy from Wicked Wood. Somebody stole your gimmick. You're gonna want to take it back, fam. Like fully fucking red face. All right, problematic. No idea who that is. Looks like Jamie Madrox with Stitch's facial hair. Like you can see like the little zigzag pattern right here on the cheeks. Okay, Razor Tongue. Oh no, Razor Tongue. That's what it is. Okay, now it's dawning on me. Razor Tongue. I like the name. Okay, Razor Tongue. I can only imagine like I can only imagine what this guy fucking sounds like. All right, next on the list, Sam Asteroff. Once again, no idea who that is. Looks kind of gothy, but I might be willing to check it out. This is literally the first person that I saw announce their spot at the Gathering of the Juggalos outside of ICP, fucking announcing the shit that they have going on main stage. Shade was the first person I saw on Facebook that actually, that announced their shit. I saw him, I saw Acetone, I saw Zay, and I was like, bro, Shade has been the homie since I first started, since my first year on YouTube, when he was just a kid, and seeing him as he's grown, and he was another one of those artists that was like down 100 for the Juggernaut shit when it first popped off. I am so happy to see Shade fucking popping up and doing his thing. I mean, last year he had the fucking barbecue wing cook off and, the barbecue wing contest and everything. And now, and I guess the only reason why he didn't perform, like, I guess the reason why he was able to do the fucking hot wings contest was because they couldn't perform. So they couldn't give him both. They were like, we give you one or the other, or we'll give you the Hot Wings contest, but not a performance. But now Shade is performing on the third stage at the Gathering of the Juggalos. This dude has been putting his fucking name out there for quite some time, just like Zay, just like Acetone, Double Homicide, all of these homies that I fucking know of. I'm so happy to see everybody that I know fucking doing the damn thing. You know what I'm saying? Let's see, Skeezus. What are these? Uh, Skeezus and what's the hair with the glasses and the name? And he's eating a fucking microphone shaped glizzy. I don't know. I don't know who this is. But like I said, like for the vast majority. Oh, by the way, take a look at Shade again and just tell me that this motherfucker does not look like GQ like a motherfucker in this picture. Like, look at it. He looks like. Okay, I gotta fucking rag on Shade. I gotta rag on Shade for this one. Like he looks like a fucking pretty boy. Like he's got the fucking GQ look, but like his face is painted up and he's got the contacts, but he's got like the black shirt, the pretty boy haircut, and the fucking hatchet man hanging off the chain. Like I'm gonna give you mass amounts of fucking shit for that boy. Okay, I need to stop before I suffocate. Like he's GQ'd the fuck up wearing the fucking black sweatshirt, fucking sweater thing. Oh yeah. Oh no, he's not. He's awesome. I love Shade. I don't give a fuck. Fuck you if you don't like it. And I don't know who this is. Going up, going down the line here. Sorry for yelling. Okay, what is this? Like, really, what is this? I don't know what this is. Is it, is it a DJ group or is it just like three guys that are rappers and one of them's the DJ. Like, I don't know. What is this? I sounds like a deathcore band. Sorry for yelling. Nah, like that. That's like up here possibly like Lion Weight or what else did we see? This Falling Under. Like I could see those possibly being like some kind of metalcore or something. But this just a group of three black dudes. I don't know. Like maybe that's something that I'm gonna have to check out. I'm not sure. Swanger. What is this name? I'm not sure what to say. I'm not sure what to think when I see this name and I see this photo. I like the photo. I will say that. I like the photo. But that's about as far as it goes. Like the name the name just okay. Swanger. It sounds to me like it means super wanger. I don't know what to say. And like I said before, no artist description, so I have no fucking clue. All right, tempo tie. Okay, tempo tie with a three instead of an E to be a little bit edgy. I once again no clue, but I'm gonna like I don't know how else I don't how do I shit on this? And dude, this looks like a screenshot because like look here by the shoe. There's a fucking volume button at the bottom right picture of the picture. Like he screenshotted himself from what? His Spotify or something? I don't know. What the the way that he's sitting and he's not even leaning up against the wall and the wall looks like a bad acid trip. All right, moving down the line, the Dumpster Babies. Okay, that name that's definitely some Juggalo shit right there. Dumpster Babies. And we're almost done. Like I can tell you right now we're almost done. But just like typical picture of two guys that are rappers in the Juggalo community. Maybe they're good. I think maybe I've heard of them before. I don't know. Dumpster Babies definitely sounds like some Juggalo shit though. That boy Jonesy. Um, great. Now I feel bad because I said that boy because black dude. And anyways, yeah. So like that boy Jonesy. Once again, no name. Interesting. Fucking Kevin McAllister look. Just definitely doing the Kevin McAllister on that. It's a decent fucking standard default promo package picture, but I don't know what to make of it. Like it says nothing about his music. I'm assuming I don't know. Maybe he does black metal. I don't know. Yeah, that would be cool. Just have a guy that has beats of him, the beats that he made, and then when it hits play, it just sounds like Satan, Satan, or something to that effect. That'd be cool. Tony Bone. Okay, so the face paint and the look on the dude's face definitely says skeletal, so Tony Bone being a fucking he looks like a fucking skeleton. He's that skinny. He is like fucking gather up all of the crew, Brooke from fucking One Piece skinny. And the face paint just and the eye contacts, he definitely has that like that right there. That is fucking black metal as fuck with the face paint, with the corpse paint and all that shit. I dig the face paint design. What that I did? No, my vocals are shot. I can't do death or black metal vocals anymore. So this might be something that I'd be interested in just to see how he sounds. Hopefully it sounds good. the look and the to me it's like, okay, look, this is trying. This picture really shows that this dude's absolutely trying, especially for juggalo shit. All right, down the line, tricked out. He looks he looks zonked out. This picture does not do much justice, but maybe he's stoned out of his mind. I don't know. Underworld Assassins. If that does not fucking say Juggalo rappers or Juggalo related group, I don't know what does. So yeah, this is definitely going to be one of those things I'm going to have to fucking watch every single one of these fucking videos. Then we got Willie Hayes and the Fago Gang, which I believe Willie Hayes has actually performed at the Gathering in the past. And once again, like Willie Hayes is another one of those dudes that I'm like, okay, I consider the homie. Haven't heard his fucking shit. I know his name from around the way. And also, if you'll excuse me, let me move some shit around. Yeah, I've definitely got some of that fucking merch. I got some of that merch from the homie. So I still to this day have the fucking Fago Gang chain. So yeah, we're definitely on the Fago Gang chain gang. And I bought that from him. And the funny thing is, like, later that night during fucking during one of the ICP shows, like, he almost hit me in the face with a fucking with an open can of Fago, lobbing it backwards because he like pushed me back and then he lobbed it and then he looked and he was like, "Oh hey!" Which I thought was absolutely fucking funny. And then we gave a dap and fucking moved on with life. So, and he had a new music video that came out like a couple months ago, and I've been wanting to actually fucking cover it. If it's the same music video, yep. Lord Hayes was the most recent music video that he came out with, and so um, we'll wait until next week when I go down the line, and we will just watch music videos like a motherfucker. So I'll save this one for Willie Hayes for next week. What up, 89? Thank you. Appreciate that. The last group is Zombie Cult. All right. That's very, like this picture feels very Midwest. You know, where's the perfect picture for ambience? I don't know, this brick house and a telephone pole. Let's just have that in the background while we mean mug the camera. Do you think we should change into something else? Nah, just wear your fucking work pants. I'm pretty sure that people won't notice that you got paint all over them. I like this jersey though. The design on this dude's jersey is pretty fucking fresh. But that's all of the shit that we've got going on right now, and that's just for the three stages. I don't think that we have any comedians up yet. Comedians are coming soon. We got the JCW events coming soon, which I know that there's supposed to be one that is Bloody Mania JCW versus GCW. I don't know if it's going to be that or what the fuck. Late night parties, there was actually one that came out that was announced, which is Club Chaos is making its return. And yep, there's some X-Out titties. So yeah, Deep in the Night, which like Club Chaos is fun. Like the overnight fucking shit is just absolutely fun. Deep in the night, hidden somewhere on gathering grounds, there is rumored to be a secret place, a place of lights, shadows, bass, outrageous fuckery, radical debauchery, and pure, unfiltered chaos. It is said to be a 420 friendly, for juggalos by juggalos after hours club with its roots set deep in gathering history. It goes by many names, but the one that resonates from the woods in the darkest hours of the night to a bass driven pulse of pure madness is Club Chaos. The truth of what it is or what it was can only be truly be known by those who have been there, who have somehow managed to find their way through the maze and into its demented den. Some say that you don't find Club Chaos, but that it finds you. Is there even truth to the return of this epic party within a party, or is it all purely speculation? Shout out to Double F from WBN. No, that's Bridget. That's Bridget Bites right there. Let's see. Perhaps you can find out for yourself, but be warned, some of the stories that have emerged from Club Chaos and that are still shared in hushed whispers among old school juggalos everywhere are difficult to even imagine, let alone witness with your own eyes. And that's the only late night party. Let's see. Sideshows are coming soon. Let's see about competitions. The Juggalo Cipher is coming up. So like if like let's see. Those wishing to compete should show up at least 15 minutes before contest. So yeah, like the Juggalo Cipher auditions coming up, and then I think there's also supposed to be, like the oh yeah, they got the zip line thing back. I've been seeing memes of the zip line all throughout Facebook, and it's been absolutely goddamn funny. Like there was even one where it showed a guy like zip line to his like with the clamp on his back. He's got like a piece of poop fucking shooting out of his asshole while he's barfing. I've seen one of Jug Silva. I've seen one of Juggalo Silva being on the fucking thing. It's been some funny memes put up out of that. But yeah, that right there is gathering nonsense, and I'm fucking all about it. That's the gathering of the Juggalos as of right now. So, keeping in mind, as promised, next week I will be going through everybody's fucking music videos, and we will see what they've got going on. Now, the next thing that I wanted to talk about actually was this shit that happened. So, Bonaroo ended up happening, and on Thursday, ICP ended up being on the fucking bill. So not only was it live streaming on Hulu, but it also turned out that because of the music, because of the weather, it also turned out that the fucking uh, Insane Clown Posse accidentally headlined the fucking Bonnaroo music festival, and there's actually something about that here. So, so according to the Detroit Metro Times, Insane Clown Posse accidentally headlines Bonnaroo after rain forces the festival to shut down. So here we go. I'm gonna go ahead and read this shit. The 2025 Bonnaroo Music and Art Festival came in with a Fago-soaked bang and left with a damp whimper as severe weather and campground flooding forced the four-day music festival to shut down early. Having canceled only three other times in the Tennessee Festival's 23-year history, tens of thousands of campers and concert goers were forced to evacuate the Manchester Farm on Saturday evening when promoters decided to pull the plug. Detroit hip hop legends the Insane Clown Posse took to the stage late Friday night and soaked the crowd in a wave of delicious Fago to end the night, thus accidentally three times that this headset has shut off for some fucking reason. Anyways, I don't know why, but it's like just shutting itself off. And so it might be because I don't have anything playing in the background or something like that. I don't know. I've never had this problem before. Yeah, thus accidentally headlining Bonnaroo. Below are photos of the Shortcut Festival, including Insane Clown Posse, Crumb Snatchers, Courting, Rebecca Flack, Sophia Isella, and hey, nothing. And so, like, here's some pictures. Whatever. Okay, so here's a picture with ICP's fans, and I'm pretty sure that there are not a whole lot of actual fucking juggalos at this bitch. What other than the gathering of the juggalos do most juggalos fucking go to? You know, outside of like, I've never heard of like, there's literally only one person that I had seen on Instagram that was just like, I'm gonna go to Bonaroo to see Insane Clown Posse, and that ended up being fucking Jane Doe, and that was it. Okay, hippie. Okay, some fucking chick dressed up like a fucking clown. Like I'm curious just to see like because you take a look at these, like a lot of these people, it's like it's weird to me. I don't know, maybe it's just me. I just feel kind of awkward about this idea that they went to this. And maybe it's just me. I don't know. Like a lot of these pictures that I'm seeing, and I'm just looking at it feeling like, Jesus Christ, like this is night and day when you compare this to the gathering of the fucking juggalos. You know what I'm saying? Like, take a look at this shit. Like, this is so fucking different. And you have like three different pages of these pictures. I'm not gonna go through, but I think that is hilarious though. It's like, you know what I'm saying? Like, I find this to be kind of interesting that Insane Clown Posse ends up accidentally headlining, and it's not like it was the Fago that actually shut the shit down. It was actually the fucking weather. The weather was actually the reason why this shit shut down. Like, we obviously know when it concerns Insane Clown Posse, like how badly the fucking ground will get when, during the show or after Fago Armageddon. Like, the gathering of the Juggalos campgrounds are fucking nuts. But like, also, like, taking a look at some of these pictures, I'm just like, what the fuck? Like, it feels like such a stark contrast. Like this is like a normie crowd. And I'm not necessarily hating on the fact, like, I love the fact that Insane Clown Posse is being invited to do all of these different events and shit. And it's just, I don't know. It's just after 30 fucking years of being a goddamn juggalo and then seeing them doing another different festival outside of the gathering of the juggalos, and it's just like seeing the normity that we know as juggalos being injected into a normie music festival. And like, I, I don't know. I don't know what to think. I don't know what to feel. I don't fucking know, fam. I don't know. But I think it's funny nevertheless. And I believe if you have a Hulu account, you can still see the replay of the Insane Clown Posse performance. And when you do a YouTube search for ICP Bonaroo, somebody actually jacked the ICP performance off of Hulu, so you can watch it on YouTube as well. So like, that's all the fucking jug shit. And I wanted to go into something else because I found some other shit interesting. So I wanted to get back, like, I'm going to go back into the video game stuff because, you know me, I like video games and shit. And this is a fucking video game that I have been hoping for, I've been hearing about, and I'm actually looking forward to eventually buying because reasons. And you'll see why in a second. Yeah, look at that shit. Ah! Oh, of course, yeah. That's right there. That's what's good. Okay. Yes. So Tony Hawk Pro Skater 3 and 4, they're actually doing a sequel to Tony Hawk 1 and 2. And, like, Tony Hawk has never looked any fucking better. I mean, I have these on PS2. Yeah, but there was a huge hubbub about this one. If you don't know, you will know soon. Oh, that was good. Like I love that. I like that move. Now, like this trailer, I actually thought was very dope because it actually shows archive footage of the old Tony Hawk game, and then it shows like what it looks like now. So you'd be able to see like a side by side comparison. But look at that shit. Gnarly. Oh, dude. Gravity means nothing in these games, and that's what I like the most about Tony Hawk. Yes. God damn it. You're fucking right about that. Okay, now here's where you start seeing, like, this is the old footage from Tony Hawk 3, and then it shows the difference. Look at that shit. Like, oh my god, the movement has changed up so it doesn't look so stiff and everything. Even the stiffy moves don't look stiff. Now, here we go. Yeah! Fucking dumb! And on top of that, it's drug rehab bam! It's not Bam from the third game. Like, it's almost like they updated Bam fucking Margera and everybody on the fucking set. Like, everybody looks the way that they are now. Oh god, I would love CKY to perform at the Gathering. That would be just that one song and leave. Like, that's all you really need is 96 Quite Bitter Beings and then leave. Unless you've got Bam Margera planning on doing stupid shit like throwing water at you and then punching you in the head. you know? But like, I loved this. Hold on, we're gonna do that again. Yes. See, I like this where it showed the contrast and even showed like, okay, this is a nollie move. And then what the hell happened to my goddamn camera? Here we go. I like that. You know that's gonna be an achievement. See, I like this where it shows like the contrast, the differences. And then this music fades out. Bam! Fucking Margera. Now, you know what's fucked up though? Yes. Now that's another thing too, dude. Michelangelo from the Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles is now going to be a playable character. As opposed to Tony Hawk 3, they actually had Wolverine and Darth Maul as playable characters for the original Tony Hawk 3. But now you've got this. Yes! And then they have like a skate park that looks like a giant fucking pinball machine. And then this one, like this, looks like, what the fuck? I love the animation in the skate park. Look at this! Look at that shit! I was so happy. Oh. Doom Guy is back. Oh. Yeah, so you can get the Doom Slayer and like the Doom Guy and a Revenant as playable characters in the digital deluxe version. Just Jesus Christ, dude, and it feels like so much. They're like, and the fucking story behind this game was so fucking phenomenal to me because like originally Activision was not going to have Bam on the game, and I was like, dude, it was like, bro, really, like, really, fucking, you're not gonna put Bam why? So when the fans found out that they were not going to have Bam Margera in Tony Hawk 3 and 4, it's like, bro, a majority of us only played as Bam Margera because we were all fans of fucking Jackass. Just because he wasn't in Jackass Forever doesn't mean that he's not allowed to be in Tony Hawk Pro Skater 3 and 4. Like, if you were to try to erase Bam Margera from Tony Hawk games, then you don't have Tony Hawk Underground, you don't have Tony Hawk Underground 2. Thug 2 was fucking. Thug 2 was fine until you get to Skatopia. Oh shit, that's right, you can play as Phil. I forgot about that. Fuck it, dude. If there's a multiplayer where you get to play as Phil, then you also get to play as Bam. You know for a fact that you're gonna try to fucking not like you're gonna do a kickflip on Phil's fucking head because it's fucking Phil. You know? But like seeing drug rehab Bam Margera getting a fucking spot in this was phenomenal. And I thought that was interesting because like there was such a high revolt of people basically saying we refuse. I even said it. I refuse to even so much as download Tony Hawk Pro Skater 3 and 4 even if it shows up on PlayStation Plus. I would refuse to play Tony Hawk 3 and 4 without Bam Margera being in it because Bam Margera was one of the core reasons why I started playing Tony Hawk in the fucking first place. So I guess the outrage about that fucking reached out to Tony Hawk. And Tony Hawk was like went to Activision himself and was like, "Bro, dude, what are you doing? Like what are you doing? Not having Bam Margera in there. You're going to put Bam Margera in there. Well, we're already close to post production. I don't care. You either put, because like take a look at the scroll. Take a look at this fucking sub like this footnote down here. Tony Hawk is a registered trademark of Tony Hawk Inc. So they have to pay Tony Hawk to have his name even in there, let alone as a game. So it's Tony Hawk's idea pretty much to in connection with Activision to have this game even come out in the first place. So Tony Hawk pretty much said to him, it's either you put Bam in that fucking game or we're not going to have Tony Hawk's Pro Skater 3 and 4 at all. Like, I will pull my fucking name off of the game. You can't have Tony Hawk Pro Skater without Tony Hawk. And guess what? You also can't have Tony Hawk Pro Skater 3 or 4 or the two Thug games without Bam Margera. And so they were like, hey, Bam, do you want to come save this game? We'll put you in it. Okay. Now, the reason why I brought this up was because ever since, like, I saw this, I immediately liked it as soon as I saw the trailer and saw that Bam Margera was in it, and they were playing fucking 96 Quite Bitter Beings. Like, that song really got me hyped up for it. I started seeing images of fucking pumpkins and shopping carts and bushes and shit like that. It really took me back to the early days of Jackass. Now, I want you to keep that in your back pocket as well, because we got to talk about the next fucking thing. So we're going to be talking about, we're going to be talking a little bit about the shit that happened over the last week and a half. This shit fucking was insane. Okay? Now, like I said, keep the Tony Hawk Pro Skater stuff, and the stuff that I just said, keep that in your back pocket because we got to talk about this and what it leads into. So apparently, the city of LA ended up getting really pissed off because of uh, the ice raids that were going on. This happened around like on the 6th. So about 9 days ago. 9 days ago, ICE came to LA to perform certain raids, and there were also not, and I think some of them might have been immigration, might have been illegal immigration, and some other ones, I guess there was like a tip about somebody. No, wait, that was maybe in Minnesota. But like there was one that happened in Minnesota where there was like a tip that somebody was doing human trafficking and meth dealing And that with that story, I heard that they saved about 8 people from being human trafficked, and they also acquired about 900 pounds worth of crystal meth, which street value equaled up to around $25 million. Now, what happened in LA, I guess, is that there were a bunch of people who ended up trying to do a shotgun protest on ICE because ICE was trying to do their job doing illegal immigration and shit like that. Well, later on, like one thing kind of leads to another. I don't know the full fucking story of it, but it ended up becoming like a full scale riot in certain parts of LA. Now, at the same time, by the way, Snow the product is trying to fucking say that it's not happening. Okay? Snow the product is like trying to prove to everybody that it's not as bad as everybody's making it out to be. Of course, we understand that not the entire city of Los Angeles is engulfed in fucking car fires and shit. That it's a relatively fucking chaotic area that was kind of controlled in a way, right? But here's the confusing fucking thing about this, okay? Everybody that's in this protest so far is fucking saying some shit about how, like, oh, it's targeted towards Mexicans and they're going to be deporting Mexicans that are even legal, which is impossible. But, uh, though they're separating families, no, they're not. They can get deported too. Tom Homan's already said that. Now, here's the thing, though, and this is the one thing that confuses me, and I'm looking for a real answer here. I'm actually, like, not even kidding. Why would you fucking protest this thing that's going on? Why would you protest everybody in this fashion? Because for 4 fucking days, this type of shit was going on where they were looting, rioting, setting cars on fire, defacing public property, all sorts of fucking shit for 4 fucking days. Like, it really proves your fucking point in that you belong in this country when this type of stuff fucking happens. And then on top of that, how in the fuck can you actually say that you want to live in a country? And this is actually the fucking question of the day was like, how in the fuck can you actually say that you want to live in the country but wave another country's fucking flag? That makes no sense to me. But basically, you want to come in your way by paying $10,000 for a fucking pack mule to fucking, coyote your way into the country, and then wave wave the flag of the country that you left and don't want to go back to. Make it make sense. How does this make any fucking sense? If you want to live in America, you wave the flag that America represents. Don't wave the flag of the country that you just left that we're trying to send you back to and you don't want to go back to. And then it also ends up becoming a whole fucking giant discourse on social media where it's like everybody's legal on stolen land. No, Mexico sold us that. You know what I'm saying? Like Mexico sold that land to the United States. That's how California and uh, Arizona and New Mexico and parts of Texas, yeah, and Texas ended up becoming fucking states. So how can you say that that's stolen land when it was sold to the settlers of this fucking country? I'm watching a guy talk about how, ironically, them doing this reverts them back to the thing they all run from, the insane conditions in Mexico. See, here's the thing. And I was trying to make a TikTok about this because of some other stuff. But before I get to that, I will get into this. I had seen a bunch of fucking people during the riots and everything that was going on. I had actually seen a video that some lady from Australia was trying to cover the news. And when she wasn't getting harassed by the rioters yelling at her, screaming at her, tell the world the truth and tell them the truth about what's going on here. They're not even listening to what she's trying to fucking say. She's like, I'm from Australia, I have no fucking argument on it for either side. Like she's not for one side or another, she's just reporting what the fuck is going on. And so I saw this video, and she ended up becoming one of, I think, 7 people that had actually gotten shot by one of the riot squad's rubber bullets. And keeping in mind, like, as all of this is going, I'm also getting flooded ever since the Tony Hawk trailer that came across my For You page on TikTok, and combine that with all of this. And ever since then, like, I've been seeing episodes of Viva La Bam in their entirety. I have been seeing clips of Viva La Bam in their entirety. I've watched a full episode of Bam's Unholy Union. All it took was for me to watch one fucking Tony Hawk trailer and give praise to the fact that Bam Margera is on the game in order for me to have a combination of Riot videos and Bam Margera for me to be like, you know what, I'm gonna make this.
Moving in on horseback, firing rubber bullets at protesters,
Yes.
moving them on through the heart of LA.
It's still funny. It's still fucking funny. Oh, I have gotten so like when people aren't talking about the video that I made of Lily Tino, I'm getting comments from that video talking about fucking like how fucking funny this is. I think my favorite comment on this video on my TikTok has been, I would have been the first person to comment if I hadn't been laughing for the last 4 minutes. See, like, yeah, like I saw this clip and an intrusive thought entered my fucking head. And then what ends up happening?
Moving in on horseback, firing rubber bullets at protesters, moving
Yeah.
them on through the heart of LA.
So what she's explaining is that like the cops are firing rubber bullets if people try to get out, like out in this like out of a certain path, then they will fire rubber bullets at them to keep them away, to keep them out of harm's way and stuff like that. Now, somebody else in the comment section on TikTok for this video ended up saying that the cop probably shot her to get that red, to get her out of the way from getting hit by that red car in the background. And I was like, you kind of have a point. That might have been a possibility. And of course, Casper Juggalette decided to come in and be like, no, that's not the point. That shit hurts and blah, blah, blah. And I'm like, shut up, you Debbie Downer. Like, just whatever. It's obvious that what I'm doing is trying to fucking make light of a bad situation. I understand that rubber bullets fucking hurt. Okay? I understand that. But if you understood the concept of timing and actually fucking paid attention to what I was trying to do, then you might have a little bit of a giggle, you know? Without having to use some fucking, without having to use some nitrous, just watch this video and learn to have a little giggle. You don't need giggle cream for this shit. Just watch. Timing! See, like, what I think is great is, like, the timing of the bullet shooting is right at the exact same time that, yeah, so, like, I had to stop it right here. And then I was like, okay, this is where the music is going to pick up as soon as the fucking bullet shoots. And then I timed it perfectly. So that way, as soon as that fucking bullet leaves the chamber, is when the music picks up. That's the timing. That's the comedy behind it. And then throughout the rest of the music, like the camera's like all over the place. And that's the comedy behind the bit. Yes, what happened to her sucks, but it's funny. Just her reaction. Oh! And then the camera guy is fucking running away panicking. And then somebody ended up saying, like, I actually found that somebody stitched this right around the same time that the lady gets shot with the fucking rubber bullet, and he's just staring at the like it cuts to him, and he's like, I just watched an intrusive thought win in real time. He's like, yeah, what happened was bad, and I don't condone it, but intrusive thoughts won, reporter zero. So think about that. And the combination between all of the shit that's going on in the real world versus all of this Tony Hawk Pro Skater, Bam Margera jackass shit, you really think that this isn't something that's going to pop into my fucking head?
them on through the heart of LA.
And it keeps getting funnier every single time I see it. Intrusive thoughts one, Karen zero, reporter zero on top of that. Like, I think honestly, the first thought that came, like literally, the first thought that came to my head was, I wonder how this would sound if I added the theme to Jackass. Like, how would it look? How would it change? Would it change anything? And because I was like, this looks rather goofy. I feel like that, like, if you've ever watched an intro to Jackass, it has that thing where it's like bow 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 bow, and then like it shows a whole bunch of fucking wacky clips from the show, and it's like it's perfect. But yeah, so that was like a week ago, and then we go back to this, you know. Where the guy who left Mexico illegally to come to the United States so he could stand on top of a car that's on fire, waving the flag that he doesn't want to, of the country he doesn't want to fucking go back to, make it make sense. So, like, but like this continues, okay? I'm going to tell you this, like, despite the fucking despite that reporter getting shot and stuff like that, then Trump ends up saying that he's going to bring in the National Guard if things don't calm down. And Gavin Newsom and Karen Bass, like Gavin Newsom, the governor of California, and Karen Bass, obviously Karen Bass, the mayor of Los Angeles, are both trying to gaslight the entire country into believing that nothing is wrong, there's no riot, everything is fine, nothing's on fire, just like they tried to fucking do when they had the California wildfire earlier this year. You remember that? Where they were like trying to say, oh yeah, everything's fine, we'll be able to take care of that shit lickety split. Oh yeah, except for the fact that your fire hydrants had no fucking water. And now you've got your idiot fucking constituents setting things on fire and defacing private property and shit. Like, you do realize that all of that stuff is something that we have to pay for? Like, yeah. Like, Karen Bass was literally trying to say that there was nothing going on, and then we were like, we saw it on the internet. Well, it's not as bad as it looks. It's just like it's only a couple of blocks, in Los Angeles. And Snow the Product was trying to say the exact same fucking thing. Where it's like, oh yeah, she literally was trying to fucking convince the people that watch her shit. Even Snow the Product was like, well, I'm in this part of LA and I don't see any problems whatsoever. Well, then you're in the wrong spot because you're trying to fucking say that just because the spot that you're in where it's safe and away from all of the anarchy and the chaos, because you're away from that, then that means that the anarchy and the chaos in the other part of downtown Los Angeles doesn't exist? Like, are you fucking kidding me? Like, Snow the Product, you cannot be that fucking stupid to try to say that shit. I love your music and I think you got a really sweet ass, but outside of that, it's like, what the fuck are you trying to do here? Like, you are also in that group of people that are trying to convince others that this isn't as bad as it looks or it's not happening at all. And it's like the only reason why Gavin is trying to fucking do that shit in the first place is because for the last few years he's been trying to inject himself into the possibility of running for president of the United States. Ever since ever since um ever since Biden decided that he was no longer going to run for a second term, or actually he was convinced not to, Gavin Newsom has been trying to gear up to become a president. But you can't even fucking control your own goddamn state. And you really think that you're going to be able to control the entire goddamn country? Like, are you fucking serious? Like, that's an even bigger joke than that fucking reporter getting shot and adding Jackass to the mix. And this shit has continued, and I believe it's still continuing, because then they were like, yeah, we're gonna do that. Gavin Newsom said, no, you're not gonna bring in the fucking National Guard or the Coast Guard or whatever. And Trump was like, yeah, we are. Like, this is a big issue, and you're not covering it. You're not taking care of your own fucking state's problem. So now Trump has to fucking do it. And if it gets worse, we're going to send the fucking Marines next. And literally, there are people in California who, like, there are some people in California that are participating in this shit, acting like, bring them on. We're LA. We can take care of it. No, you can't. Okay? If you've got 100 LA rioters and 7 fucking Marines, do you really think you're gonna fucking win? These men are fucking stationed in an area at a fort that they are not happy to fucking be in. They are chomping at the bit to have some kind of fucking action. A bunch of newly recruited fucking Marines that were expecting to go across seas to fight in a war, and they were not able to because it stopped. And so now they're stuck at a military base where they don't know what to fucking do. So they're chomping at the bit for something. They want to hurt people. Maybe not kill them, because it is our own fucking citizens, but they are willing to hurt motherfuckers in order for this stuff to stop. And you've got a lot of people that are that were rioting. I don't know if the riots are still going on, and the reason why that is because yesterday was Trump's birthday. It was also the 250th birthday of the United States Army, or the military in general. And I guess some people at the last second decided that they wanted to have a nationwide protest called the No Kings Protest. And they decided that it was perfect because it's Trump's fucking birthday. Well, I'm sorry, but hail to the king, King Diamond. Okay, because it was also his birthday yesterday, too. So hail to the King Diamond. God damn it. Donald Trump is still your president, by the way. And that was the other thing too. It's like, okay, they had some of these places that were set up for specific times to protest and peacefully protest. Speak your mind and do what you got to do. Get your fifis out on the road. Even Grand Rapids, Michigan. Here, in Grand Rapids, Michigan, we had one at Annapolis Park. In Detroit, Michigan, they had it at Clark Park. And there were some other people who had them in certain areas of the road. However, in Florida, DeSantis actually said that if the peaceful protest is causing obstruction to where cars cannot get to where they need to go, it is perfectly legal for you to run these motherfuckers over so you don't get late, get written up for being late to work or something like that. If they are trying to stop stop traffic from happening, it is perfectly okay in the state of Florida to run these motherfuckers over. There was a person who I saw on TikTok that said, in case of the peaceful protests, that when you have a semi truck on the highway, it takes about the length of 3 football fields for the truck to come to a complete stop from running highway road conditions. So basically, it takes about what 900 feet, 900 feet for the fucking yeah, 900 feet for a semi truck to stop completely after driving at 55 miles an hour. It takes it takes about 900 feet. So like if you think that standing in front of a semi truck to stop them is going to have them stop on a dime, nope. So it would be a very bad idea for anybody to try to obstruct highway traffic during these peaceful protests when you have semi trucks that are going to just mow you over. Now, personally, when it concerns all of this stuff, I am honestly, I'm okay with fucking the shit that ICE has done. People can go ahead and say what they want, but I don't look at it as a thing about being fucking racist. It's a thing about and there are some things that I have thought about because there were a lot of things that people have said when it concerns ICE and what they're doing and why it's important and stuff like that. Usually the primary thing that a lot of people say are is every country has these rules, which are, you have these laws, you have your checks and balances, you have your standards and practices, which is that no country wants somebody outside of their fucking country to come in without, without legalities and stuff like that. I mean, think about it. It does make sense. One of the, there was a group of people who possibly came into this country illegally, scouted our fucking area, and then a couple months later threw an airplane into a tall fucking building twice. Okay, and then we ended up having to fucking go to war at some foreign land over oil, and we couldn't find the guy that did it, that started it. Until like one or two presidents later. Y'all remember 9/11? I sure do. And they say no country on this fucking planet allows people from outside of their country to fucking come in illegally. If they come through, they have to have a passport. Like there was this one cute ginger chick that I saw where she was talking about, if we go from one country to the next because their countries are relatively small, like say going from the UK to Germany or something like that, they have to have a passport on their person in order to go from one country to the next, right? So the same thing could be about our country, where if you are coming, if you like say you're going from Mexico to the United States to go to Six Flags in fucking Texas or something like that. You could come in as long as you got a passport and you're only coming in and going out within the same day and stuff like that. You're not trying to stay, you know. If you come in and you've got like a school visa or a work visa, you're here for a limited amount of time and then you have to renew the fucking visa or leave the goddamn country, right? Then there's also the people that need, that come in and fucking are trying to become United States citizens. Now, the people who come in illegally create a detriment to the country because they are not documented people, which means that it doesn't even matter if they're fucking paying taxes and all this other stuff. Like the amount, like I look at it from a financial standpoint where it's like, okay, the amount of people versus the amount of money that we have in this fucking country. Okay, so like there's a certain amount of money that is allotted for a certain amount of people that live in this fucking country. And that's how to keep that's what you do in order to make sure that, the same thing with like consumer products, homes, so on and so forth. Like all of these different fucking things that we have in this fucking country, you know. And you can tell if there's actually an illegal amount of people that are in here versus, like um if say like every single household ends up having a switch or something like that in America, then that maxes out to 330 million fucking uh Nintendo Switches that are available, and that's like one Nintendo Switch per person in this country. So if you were to have 335 million Nintendo Switches sold in the United States alone within like a span of a lifetime or something like that, in this country alone, then that would really show how many fucking people are actually living in this country. That would be proof positive that there are people living here illegally. Now, the reason why we send them back to the country is because they, yes, in a way, are actually a detriment to our resources and our way of living. Because when you come into this country legally, you are basically coming in with the understanding that this is the way of life that America fucking has, and this is the way that we run things. Okay? And when you have people coming in illegally, and waving their flag from the country that they were at and don't want to go back to, which is fucking ironic. Basically, what they are doing is they're coming into this country with their rules, their regulations, and they want us to switch shit up for them. No, if you come into this country, it's the other way around. We don't switch up for you, you switch up for us. And I think that a lot of people that come in as legal immigrants fucking understand that. They see the way that America lives, and that's how they want to fucking come in. That's how they want to live the rest of their lives, and that's why they end up coming into this country to become citizens. Now, at the same time, this is another thing that I had been saying for quite some time. If you come in here illegally, you're basically, and expecting to become and treated like United States citizens. Like I said, it has absolutely nothing to do with fucking race. I just want to put that out there. I'm looking at this from the aspect. It doesn't matter if you're Mexican, African, or fucking Norwegian, okay? Like even if you're a fucking Viking, it doesn't matter as long as you come in legally. The fact of the matter is that when you come in, think about it like this. When you were in first grade, let's say you have your school, you have your school and you go out for your first recess, right? You come back, everybody comes in from recess, and then you all stand in line at the drinking fountain because you've been running around, you're sweaty, you're dehydrated, and you need to get a drink, just like everybody. Okay. Now, if let's say somebody else fucking skips the line and cuts right in front of you, are you going to narc them out and tattle on them? And then they get sent all the way to the back of the line, regardless as to where they were. Or are you just going to bitch up and let them fucking do it? I'm sorry, but like in school, I was told that if somebody fucking skips the line and they get caught doing it, they go to the back of the fucking line because it's not fair to everybody else that they fucking tried to cut in order to get a drink quicker. The same thing works for the United States, where it's like if you come into this country illegally, you are skipping the line. You are skipping the line in order for you to get a fucking drink faster. That is not fair to all of the other people who have come here legally. So it's no wonder why you would want to fucking, it's no wonder why that people in this country, which I believe a majority of the United States has actually fucking said that we support this shit. We support fucking illegal immigrant deportation. Okay, so like a vast majority of the people that are living in this country don't like a vast majority of the people that live in this country actually agree with the idea of illegal immigrants being deported. Okay, everybody that's doing all of this is just caught up in their fucking little feels and having a little bit of a bitch fit. How many people have I actually heard say some shit like it's funny as hell because there's been so many fucking liberal people that I have heard that have actually had some low key racist shit that has come out of their fucking mouth. I like his Misfits patch on his jeans. I wonder if he knows Michael Graves is a Trumper. Right? See, that's the same thing as like when, like certain people that show the Hatchet Man, they think it doesn't meet, they buy it because they think it looks cool. The same thing with the cops that started using the Punisher logo, which I found that to be ironic because the Punisher fucking don't give a fuck about nobody. Like he'll kill fucking everybody. And that ain't what the Punisher ain't about fucking cops. And just like the Misfits ain't about fucking this shit. The only reason why the Misfits is probably on that dude's jeans is because he thought it was trendy or something like that. And that's another thing too. A vast majority of the people that are doing this shit are basically doing this because it's a trend. Like they're gonna do their little 5 minute fucking photos and put them up on on fucking Instagram or Facebook and be like, "We insurrectioned today," hashtag LOL or something to that fucking effect. It's like half of these people, like like I wouldn't say half of these people, but a good chunk of these people are only in it for the trend. Some of these people instigate this shit and get paid fucking doing it. There's actually been proof that has been shown that ads have been placed on Craigslist for this nonsense. And then there's the stupid people who don't know any better because they're absolute dumb sheep that will do it because they hate Donald Trump. And a lot of these people have that TDS. Not hating on LGBTQ at all, but again, because so many Karens get together and peddle nonsense, people get behind a nonsense cause, and here we go again. What's funny though is like a lot of these people, it's like, what the fuck do they think that this is going to fucking prove? Like literally, like this shit right here does not prove a fucking thing. If anything, and somebody actually said this, they were like, as a Mexican, I have to applaud you people because within 4 days, you proved every negative stereotype that people have about our people to be true. And it's like I hate to say it, but I agree with them on that because like this type of shit is like it's terrible. It's terrible that people think that this is the type of shit that changed. Now, it did lead into this fucking No Kings protest that happened the other day. And the first thing I did was I watched on TikTok. I'm just sitting there at work watching this shit on my phone as all of these people are fucking going around, even Trumpers that had gone to these fucking protests to possibly counter protest or anything like that. And for the most part, I saw that the Trumpers were rather fucking peaceful because they didn't do a fucking thing. But the mere sight of a red hat or a Trump t-shirt would send all of these fucking libtards into an absolute goddamn outrage. They would lose their shit. One person I saw was literally being hound dogged by an old lady that was constantly ringing a fucking cowbell. And so everybody in the chat was like, "Seasons don't fear the reaper, nor do the wind and the sun or the rain. We can be like they are. Come on." I told the dude, I was like, "I got a fever, and the only prescription is more cowbell." I kept on making I kept on making Bruce Dickinson references to that fucking SNL skit from back in the day. I kept on yelling more cowbell. People were yelling, we're in the chat going cowbell for fucking Trump and all this other shit. There was like some transvestite that tried tripping the dude. There was like some other person who was in a mask and was basically hitting the guy, expecting him to hit back so that way that person could be like, "Oh my God, I'm being assaulted." It's like all of these people are insane. And it's like, didn't we see this same exact shit 4 years ago around the exact same time? 5 years ago. My bad. We saw this exact same shit 5 years ago when a black dude overdosed on fentanyl and everybody thought that the cop that had his knee on his fucking neck choked him out. And so, like, everybody started to fucking do these peaceful protests. And then later on in the night, which I covered on my channel here before, like at one point when I was taking a break from YouTube, I actually reacted to the events that were happening in my own hometown. Here in Grand Rapids, we ended up having a fucking protest that turned into a fucking riot. And I covered the whole fucking thing. And I was like devastated at that. And the only thing that I thought was interesting about all of that later on, after I saw the aftermath, was Why is it that the fucking black and Mexican and Bosnian owned local businesses were torn to shreds downtown, but the Big B Coffee was standing just fine? You know, while these other people were screaming fucking fuck the oligarchy and, deport billionaires and all this other shit, but they destroy all of the fucking locally owned, minority owned restaurants. I mean, Bosnians are refugees in this fucking state. They own a bunch of fucking shawarma joints and, a bunch of Euro restaurants in the area, and yet one gets all of their windows blown out. And the same thing for a Mexican eatery or a fucking business that's owned by black folk. And you want to say that this is all over what? Trump? It's like, no, dude, like people are fucking going to these things because they want to start some psychotic shit. They want to start chaos. They want and for what? Like that's the one thing that I've been questioning is, and even with these fucking No Kings protests, my question is what are you trying to accomplish, and did you fucking accomplish it? Or are you just screaming into the void with no expectations about what you can do to them? Because that's what a protest is for. A protest is not just to get your voice heard, but to have people understand. And when you go to these protests to protest shit, if you're just not going to listen to the opposition or possibly educate somebody on something, there's no there's no evolution, there's no progress, there's no going forward. So your protest means nothing. All it is just a fucking echo chamber of like-minded people that are screaming fuck Donald Trump, and if you don't like it, then we will scream at you until you leave. Or if you say anything negative about our protest, or if you don't agree with every single little fallacy of things that I believe, then you're a fucking homophobic, xenophobic, racist, prejudiced bigot. And I'm like, no, that does nothing. Literally nothing. If you wanted to have a No Kings protest, I would assume that because of it being called No Kings, then you're saying that you don't want President Trump to be a king. Well, I'm sorry, but we already have a No Kings Day. It's called July 4th. It started in 1776. Okay, that's our No Kings protest. And we have it every year for almost 250 fucking years. We don't need it on July 14th just because it's the president's birthday. Like I said before, it's also King Diamond's birthday. Hey, we have a king that was born on yesterday. King Diamond. You know what I'm saying? Goddamn right, Trailer Park. It is in fact time to gather. I better see your ass there. I want to give you a big hug. I miss you. But anyways, yeah, so like this type of shit makes absolutely no sense whatsoever. There was no purpose for it. There was no purpose for the fucking protest that happened the other day. And which, by the way, some of those protests, they actually had a time limit on there, and some people ended up getting a little bit rowdy, and I'm pretty sure that it was some other shit, but there was some other shit that ended up happening in Minnesota. Apparently there was like this thing that was going on with the senders. They were supposed to fucking vote on the possibility of a law that was supposed to give free full health care to illegal immigrants, and one of the state representatives of Minnesota, who was a Democrat, voted no on it, and then the next day she and her fucking husband were shot dead. And the guy that was suspected to fucking do it, they had like the guy who's suspected of doing it. Turns out that there's a possibility that this person used to work for Tim Walz, who is, I believe, the governor of Minnesota. He was the guy that was that was running as Kamala Harris's vice president. He was the token white man in the DEI equation of the Democratic Party nomination for president of the United States last year. And on top of that, the guy's car was completely filled with a bunch of no king signs. So you can't say that son of a bitch. I hate this. Why does my headset keep fucking shutting off? I don't understand what the problem is with this. Anyways, so not only can you not say that it was a Republican that shot this person dead, even though they were a Democrat, voting against Democratic things, the person in question that shot this person was, in fact, also a liberal, okay, a left leaning, full fledged libtard. And it's suspected to who have personally also worked with Tim Walz. You know what I'm saying? So I feel like that, yeah, I feel like that those murders were hits. You're like, oh, okay, so it's like you're not gonna vote the way that I want you to vote on this fucking thing. You'll be sleeping with the fishes. See, there's that kind of shit. And so like that shit's happening in the background of all of this, along with the No Kings protest, and I believe the LA riots are still fucking going on. And Gavin Newsom and Karen Bass, I believe, are on the brink of finally fucking admitting that they have lost all control of all of this shit. And there's also some people that are basically at this point. I saw one guy who said basically at this point, what we need to do is like that little southern chunk of California that basically is the reason for all of the fucking electoral votes for that country. You know what I'm saying? Like, we might as well just give that back to Mexico. So that way they can have LA, they can have San Francisco, they can have San Diego, they can have all those major fucking countries. And then we take the island of Manhattan and do exactly what Escape from New York fucking did and just turn it into a prison farm. Like somebody actually fucking suggested that shit. Newsom got to rebrand so he can run in 2028 with AOC as VP. That is not happening. Shit like this trailer park is proof positive that Gavin Newsom will not be able to do shit for this country. If anything, he's going to make it worse. Because one riot and they fucking started off with gaslighting the country and trying to convince everybody that it's not fucking happening. And then we were like, no, it's happening. Look, here it is on TikTok. It's showing live events happening. Here it is on YouTube. Here it is on Twitter. Oh, okay. Well, yeah, it is happening, but it's not bad. Dude, it's people setting cars on fire and breaking into fucking, destroying buildings and defacing private property and looting. Okay, but it's only one small area in New York. It's in LA. It's not the whole fucking country. You know, I will vote for AOC in 20. Look, I will vote for AOC as bartender, but that's about as far as it goes. She's cute and she's like, I'd hate fuck her, but seriously, I think she's absolutely batshit crazy. It's very highly likely that JD is a shoe in for 2028. The Dems, like honestly, I think with here's the problem. Here's the problem that the Democrats have. Okay, and not all of them, but a good chunk of them. I would say a very big majority of them. Their problem is lack of accountability. When they are seeing the problem, instead of accepting responsibility for the problems that they fucking create, they try to fucking spin it around and make it sound like, oh, it was Donald Trump's fault. Well, guess what? You only got 3 fucking years left of that shit, and then Donald Trump is completely out of the equation. You're not going to be able to blame Donald Trump for shit that happens 30 years into the future. I just know AOC got that crazy. I'm very sure that she's got fucking that crazy Ned. I agree with you on that one, Trailer Park. Her and possibly fucking Anita Sarkeesian. Like, I think Anita Sarkeesian is fucking nuts too. Actually, she's calmed down a little bit. Like, she's actually willing to accept. She's one of the few Democrats. Anita Sarkeesian from the Young Turks is actually one of the very few Democrat leaning people Even though she says that she's independent, she's still like left-leaning independent, but she's actually willing to take accountability for the fucked up shit that happens on the Democrat side and is willing to take responsibility for the things that happen on her accord. You know, a lot of these people, and this is the biggest problem, like I was saying, that the Democratic Party seems to have is the fact that a vast majority of them are not willing to accept accountability for the actions that the Democrat Party fucking has. Instead, they will double down and try to continue on and make it as if they are not the problem. They try to convince themselves as well as others that they are, in fact, not the problem, but it's just Donald Trump, or it's a majority of it's Donald Trump, but a part of it also has to do with the Republican Party. They do not take accountability for their mistakes. And instead of taking accountability, they will fucking double down. And they have not learned their lesson because their approval ratings continually go down. The Democratic approval ratings were at 24% when Donald Trump became president of the United States. And that was in November when he was elected president. Here it is June, and it has dropped down to about 17 or 18%. And I'm pretty sure that this did not help any matters much either. You know, like all of these riots and this dumbass shit with the fucking No Kings protest. I'm sorry, but not sorry. But this is the way that it is at this point in time. Um, they need to, like, a lot of these Democratic leaders need to wake up and realize that how they're fucking doing shit is not working. And instead of trying to convince the American constituents to fucking hate Donald Trump and everything that he fucking does. Like do what the Republican side of the political parties did. We may not like fucking having Joe Biden as our president of the United States, but we hope nothing but the best happens for that motherfucker and what he tries to do for the country. That was our thought process. But we're also open to criticizing our fucking leaders. That to me is what makes MAGA special, is the fact that we are willing to criticize even the people that we agree with. MAGA folk are actually willing to fucking criticize Donald Trump when we feel like that he's fucking up. Like that big beautiful bill thing. I have heard a vast majority of people that have heard about the bill and some of the things that is in that bill and what it's going to possibly do in the future. And I've heard a lot of people disagreeing with the big beautiful bill. Not in whole, but certain parts of it that they don't like. Ironically, to all of our detriment, because they need both sides at the end of the day, this has gotten so bad that this party is writing itself out of the game. It's over for them, it seems. I personally feel like that we're not going to see a Democratic leader for the next 10, like 10 to 20 years. Like after Donald Trump is done being president, I feel like it's going to go to JD Vance and it's going to go to somebody else. And then after that, I'm pretty sure we might end up seeing JD Vance for 2 terms. And no matter how hard the fucking like the Democratic Party is going to fail time and time and time and time again until they get their heads out of their asses, realize how badly they're fucking up, and realizing that we're not stupid. Okay, everything that is going on in the real world, we can actually see because everybody has a fucking smartphone. Everybody has open access to social media and can go live. We have cameras at all angles, at all times, at all places. We want to see something, we're going to find it somewhere on the internet. We are going to see stuff like this. And it's not just going to be a media push narrative. We're going to be able to see live footage with our own eyes. As a matter of fact, earlier yesterday, I actually saw footage from both members of Clockwork E recording a protest that was happening at outside of the stage 1 venue that they were performing at later that night. They went outside to go get some fucking supplies out of their car. There was a whole bunch of people that were there for a fucking No Kings protest. And they were trying to get people to fucking say that they wanted to legalize crack, which would have been fantastic if they could actually get a whole bunch of people to be like, yeah, legalize crack. Like, All you have to do is just tell them that, tell them that Donald Trump never wants to see crack legalized. And they'll be like, legalize crack. Actually, I believe JD Vance is a millennial. I'm gonna have to double check that, but I am pretty sure that he is a millennial. Let's see. Da-da-da-da-da. Yep. Um, yep, he was born August 2nd, 1984, so he is a millennial. Oh, damn, for real. So there was never a Gen X president. Will there ever be? We were this close, and it was Kamala Harris. Let's see. 1964? Maybe I'm wrong. Okay, so Generation X is the demographic. Oh, nope, she's a boomer. Generation X started in 1965. So yeah, there has never been a Gen X president. And that's probably good because if you know anything about Gen X, I mean, I'm a cusp. Like I'm a Zennial. Like I have the fucking time frame of both Gen X and Millennial because I was born in 1982. And the same thing with JD Vance. Like there's that little cusp of 5 years before and after 1980 that is considered a Zennial. And JD Vance is a Zennial because he was born in 1984. I was born in 1982. Um, I believe Obama was also a boomer. So yeah, um, I do believe so. Let me check. Okay, Barack Obama. He was also a boomer, born in 1961. So yeah, we have never had a Gen X president. But then again, if you really want to think about it, do you really want to have a fucking Gen X president? They're like, we got this problem going on in the country, and why should I give a fuck? You know, or the response would just be like a fucking lawn dart and an Indian burn. You know what I'm saying? Like we're gonna Indian burn the fuck out of the Indians for that shit. You know what I'm saying? Like there would be a lot of fucking there would be a lot of fucking tort. Like like I have a Gen X brother and he was kind of a dick. You know what I'm saying? So trust me when I say you really don't want to fucking like the reason why we never would have a Gen X like a Gen X president is because Gen X doesn't want that level of responsibility. And trust me when I say we don't want Gen X to have that kind of responsibility. And there's a reason for it. If your parents are Gen X, then you should understand why they shouldn't be like no Gen X should be a president like ever. You know what I'm saying? But I think that's going to be the end of my show. I'm feeling like a little bit of hockey. So I'm going to get out of here. I'm going to fucking play some NHL on Twitch. So if you want to step out and go over to my Twitch channel, twitch.tv/CrazyMcCormick, you'll be able to check me out there in a few minutes. I'm going to play a few rounds of the hockey. But yeah, that's basically it for the show. Come next week, I will be reviewing every single music video that is showing for all of the ninjas that are currently signed to do the Gathering of the Juggalos this year. I'm looking out for it. I'm looking forward to it, I should say. And I'm gonna get up out of here. Thank you guys for coming in, watching, participating up in the chat. I appreciate you motherfuckers for coming in. I'm out this bitch, y'all. See you next week or in a few minutes, depending on where we're at. Deuces, y'all.